Yay! Week 1 is done! I'm here with a quick recap and preview video to get us started on Week 2. First, allow me to say thank you. Thank you for all of your work over the last week. I know that the second week of the semester, and especially right after Labor Day, is a tough time to get started with a class. You've all done great, and I appreciate it so much. I will do my best to be here to help you in any way possible. Now, let's recap what we did last week. Our first discussion board was all about the differences between online and face-to-face classes. We learned about the basics of what makes online teaching different and unique, and we got some positives out of this for sure. Catherine pointed out that online learning allows for more reflective conversation. Ron observed that students get to navigate their own experience, and Kelly reflected on how we can use video to make connections to students. And Carmen discussed some ways in which we might use activities to make connections online, both among students and between students and faculty. Of course, there are always drawbacks to any teaching method. For example, Robert pointed out that online learning might create a tension due to the asynchronous communication that is inherent in an online learning environment. Kim pointed out the challenges in creating a sense of instructor presence. Thomas expressed some reservations about the emphasis we place on peer-to-peer work within online classes, and Jason pointed out the potential for impaired communication with students online. I agree with all of the issues as well as the advantages mentioned. I, for one, as a communication professor and scholar, believe that most all of our challenges in an online environment can be overcome with effective communication. But then that's what a calm guy would say, right? Yeah, I know, pretty predictable. Now, the next thing we did last week was to create a welcome letter. I loved seeing the voice and personality of all of the various members of this class come out. You recognize that this is the first time we have a chance to reach a student, and we should do whatever we can to set a really positive tone for the class. It was such a pleasure to read your letters, and I look forward to seeing even more of your work as we go forward. Finally, we covered the online readiness assessment and discussion board. I, for one, have never actually used this tool in my classes. See, I love it when I learn too. I really look forward to using this next in my own online class. I also thought it was interesting to read your perspectives on this. Jason, as a psychology professor, said he would use it in his class. As a comm guy, I would probably do the same thing. Kim had a great idea to require the assessment in our EDUC 1300 classes. One of my potential, I think that's really, really brilliant. Of course, I see limitations with this tool, as does Thomas. One of my potential issues is the length of the survey. We get survey fatigue easily, and it is a lot of questions. I personally try to chunk my content so that it's short enough to be completed in a fairly short amount of time, especially content that doesn't have a grade attached. This might be a little lengthy for some of our students, and some might just click through to get it done. Oh, and for the record, you are able to access your students' reports. That is located in the PDF instructions that were at the beginning of that discussion board. Reviewing those reports will surely help you detect any problems early on. And now we get ready for week 2. This week we'll be looking at our syllabi and thinking about how it will be different online versus in a face-to-face class. We will also be thinking about how to adapt our face-to-face exercises and assignments to an online format. We'll also be creating some cool learning activities. Finally, I would like to introduce Patrick's Nugget. This will be a place where I share some of what I consider to be some of the best practices in online learning. Note that these are what I like to do and might not work for you. Or maybe you could adapt them. Or maybe you hate them. That's okay. They really work well for me, so I'll keep doing them and hopefully refining them. This week's nugget is all about the opening week conversation. This is something I do for both my hybrid and online students. During opening week, I require them to have a 10-minute webcam meeting with me. For a hybrid, I actually let them meet me on campus if they wish. I like this for several reasons. First, it gives some face-to-face interaction with your students, personalizing your class even more. I also have my students do a time management survey in the first week of class. This is very simple. It's an Excel spreadsheet I created. I'll link it below so you can see. I review their survey with them to talk about time expectations and their possible barriers to success. This allows me to advise them on their readiness for my class. I anticipate also talking about their online readiness survey that I'm going to have them start doing in the future. I also get to explain my particular expectations of my online class. The downside of this particular task is the time commitment. If I have 25 students, we're talking about 4 hours of time spent in one-on-one conversations. But in an online class, there are 3 hours in a week that I'm not physically in class. So I think this is an okay trade-off. And more importantly, since I've started this, my success and retention rates in my online classes have risen to 85% or higher. I believe a large part of this is how I've set expectations from the beginning. Okay, that's it for this week. What are some topics that you want to cover about online pedagogy? Also, do you have any really specific D2L questions? Oh, this isn't a class in D2L. I do want to help you as much as I can. Now, mind you, I might refer you to your campus online instructional professional development team, but if it's a simple question, I'm happy to answer it. Anyway, let me know, and if it's a topic we're not discussing in a future week already, I'll make a new discussion board about it. So that's it, folks. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you online.